Kevin Costner is the actor most closely linked to the essence of the West, the sedate pleasures of a small town, and the sound of wind blowing across an open range in modern cinema. In their day, the link between men and the frontier was symbolized by John Wayne, Gary Cooper, and a few more. Actors like Sam Elliott and Tom Selleck embodied the connection decades later, especially in Louis L'Amour film adaptations. Costner and those actors have a lot in common. Long before Yellowstone and the recently released Horizon, An American Saga, Chapter 1, 69-year-old Costner was drawn to parts that allowed him to capture that essence throughout the most of his career. Following a string of minor parts, Costner made his breakthrough as a boisterous teenage gunslinger in the western Silverado from 1985. In the nearly 40 years that have passed, he has acted in romances and thrillers, but he has consistently gravitated back to westerns and small-town dramas about freethinkers living in isolated areas, such as Durham, Field of Dreams, and Wyatt Earp. In that sense, Costner is the archetypal modern-day frontiersman. It would be more true to describe him as lone than lonely, founding tales of the little and large of a man out there blazing his own path. It also helps to seem beautiful and real when riding a horse. After spending 3 seasons at the heart of the popular neo-Western TV series Yellowstone, Costner returned to the epic Western with Horizon, which was meant to be the beginning of an ongoing tale. Horizon, when paired with his 2003 movie Open Range, is the apex of a character that Costner has cultivated on screen throughout the course of his extensive career. On the range. It has always seemed to me that filmmakers and screenwriters use horseback scenes in non-Western films to appeal to performers who yearn for a return to classic Western cinema. Naturally, the first such film that springs to mind is The Untouchables, starring Kevin Costner. Hollywood was ruled for decades by Westerns, despite efforts to revitalize the genre, such as with 1985's Silverado. Westerns have lost ground to thrillers, sci-fi, and superhero sagas in modern film. Some notable westerns from the early 1990s distinguished out as genuine new interpretations of the genre. One of the greatest westerns ever made, Unforgiven, starring Clint Eastwood, came out in 1992. Tombstone, which came out in 1993, featured a stellar ensemble that included Sam Elliott and told an iconic tale. Somewhat ironically, Costner's portrayal of the lonesome, independent saddle tramp hero for the 2003 film Open Range had him playing the sidekick to an older, more seasoned cowhand, played by Robert Duvall in a performance reminiscent of the aging and grumpy Texas Ranger Gus McCrae from Lonesome Dove, though less obviously comedic. In the 1880s in Montana, Duvall portrays Boss Spearman, an open-range cattle drove. While herding cattle, Spearman and Costner's Charlie Waite encounter Denton Baxter, Michael Gambon, a town leader who is against livestock drives consuming his land. Following Baxter's failure at Spearman's party, the cattle drivers arrive in town and meet Sue Barlow, Annette Benning, the local doctor's sister, who develops romantic feelings for Charlie. Despite the impression of broad valleys and cattle ranching that its title suggests, Open Range is a gripping but somewhat confining tale. While the picture opens with expansive landscapes interspersed with herds of cattle, a significant portion of the action takes place in a single town during a protracted storm that submerges the cowboys and their enemies in water. Here, Duvall has the lead billing, and he is deserving of it. But in the end, Costner has to make the classic cowboy movie decision. Should he live on the open range or settle down in a tiny town with the alluring, powerful female lead? Over the Horizon. Much discussion has surrounded Costner's rumored decision to leave Yellowstone, with theories ranging from conflicts over shooting schedules between his films and the show's ostensibly final season, to conflicts between Costner and creator Taylor Sheridan, to the idea that Costner, who is getting close to 70 years old, was just eager to work on his own projects. In any event, Horizon, which was originally slated to be a 4-film series spread over a 12-year span both during and after the Civil War, looms enormous. During the period of the Great Westward Expansion, the film is set in multiple states and tells stories of pioneers pushing into Native American territories and terrible fights breaking out, symbolizing the restlessness of the time. The film, which lasts 3 hours, chronicles the movement of a Native American tribe, the journey of a wagon train carrying European settlers, the destiny of those who survive the violent conflict that opens the movie, and the transformation of Costner's character's circumstances. Knowing full well that he is too old to play the sidekick, Costner portrays the elderly saddle tramp Hayes Ellison, whose tale isn't even the main focus of the movie. It takes Costner almost an hour to appear. His ability to hold our interest while on screen as a self-possessed cowboy who stays out of trouble until he can't is a testament to his star power. Characters in the movie examine extensively disseminated pamphlets for a planned community named Horizon. The handbills promise a community that will provide a developing area for people to live. It would be fascinating to watch who gets to Horizon in the next movies, especially since the box office receipts and audience response were not very enthusiastic, which could have an impact on the continuation of the series. Will this story be given enough time to be completed by both Hollywood and the audience? Despite having a lot of character development and conflict, the film feels like a trailer for the second, which was supposed to release in August but has since been postponed. The third and fourth portions of the film are currently in the early phases of production. Something I don't think I've seen before is done in Horizon's closing moments, a montage of several minutes of material from the second movie that reveals the characters' futures. In a similar development, Costner reportedly plans to eventually combine all of the movies into a TV series. In the meantime, Netflix is rumored to have submitted an acquisition bid recently. For the time being, Horizon perfectly captures the iconic appearance of the American West with stunning landscapes interspersed with cow drives and wagon trains. I'm curious as to why Costner placed his plot in so many different locations on the map, merely to provide us with fresh establishing views whenever the scene shifts. It's very visually and mentally appealing, whatever happens next. As of right now, Horizon, an American Saga, BAB 1 is available on Bioscopes and can also be viewed as a premium viewing experience on digital video platforms based on request.